But I can tell you it's a very fluid situation here. We did speak with the public information officer with the Franklin County Sheriff's Office. They've been down there investigating ever since and have not been able to give us any additional details as to how many people were stabbed. Citing media coverage and the publicity from the Victor Rodas trial last year, he's another alleged MS-13 gang member. Right now, attorneys are working to narrow the jury pool down, which started with 86. What we can say right now, though, is the suspect, Matthew Bernard, is charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. Franklin County is prepared as they did declare a local state of emergency. This is the USS Harry S. Truman. The recent post even caught the attention of a Republican congressman who called on Falwell to resign. Authorities say it appears that the bullet didn't hit any vital organs. For the most part, Jane, you can see right here behind me, this whole stretch of road of 501 was covered in water. Many students will hop on a school bus and hit the classrooms. That's because when the theater closed back in 1958, it was still a segregated public space. That's right, Robin, and although it's been almost 2 years since that murder, the family was still too shaken to speak on camera, understandably so. But this is the beginning of what prosecution calls justice for Aaron Brumfield.
First and foremost, I want to apologize to the family.
Choking back emotions, Trevor McIntosh asked for forgiveness inside a Bedford County courtroom Tuesday morning.
I apologize for being a part of this. I can't take it back. Nothing I can say or do will make it any better.
McIntosh pleaded guilty to murder in the shooting death of 22-year-old Aaron Brumfield in September of 2018. Brumfield's family watched in tears as the prosecution reviewed the case.
Aaron lived at 1034 River Oak Drive in Forest with his roommate, Christopher Lowry.
Deputy Commonwealth's Attorney Stacey Stickney says McIntosh and 3 others conspired to rob Brumfield, stopping at multiple Walmart locations to purchase ammunition and dark clothing. Stickney says they drove to his home in Forest. McIntosh and 2 co-defendants wearing masks and gloves broke into the home, mistaking Brumfield's roommate as the intended target. Stickney says after the 3 heard a gunshot, at least one defendant fired into Brumfield's room, shooting him twice.
There is no reason that we have seen for the murder. They went there to rob, and it was for marijuana. There were demands for marijuana, demands for money, but it was absolutely senseless.
McIntosh pleaded guilty to murder in the commission of a felony, robbery, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
This is step 1 in holding the first individual accountable for the death of Aaron Brumfield.
Now, McIntosh was sentenced to 48 years today, Robin. His other co-defendants will go on trial later this year. He tells me the word adventurous doesn't even begin to describe Drablos. He says coaching him in pole vaulting is just one example of his outgoing personality.
It's hard to put into words what an athlete means to a coach.
Words, they're hard to find for Michael Parker. The pole vaulting coach had a close bond with one of his athletes, Joshua Drablos.
There's a bond that develops that is very much family-like.
The 27-year-old Bedford County native died on Friday. He was on a skydiving plane when it crashed just moments after taking off in Hawaii.
She said he's gone, and I thought she meant he had gone missing.
Parker remembers the exact moment he found out. Now, he's trying to come to grips with the loss of such a fearless spirit.
I thought about one of the only things I know of that he didn't do. He didn't run up Mount Everest, as far as I know. But if he'd had the chance, he probably would have.
He describes Drablos as brave and daring, but mostly, he was caring.
I'm sorry he didn't make it to altitude and be able to jump and enjoy that last ride, but I assure you that his whole projection at the time of the emergency was to help the others in that plane.
Because that's who Drablos was, Parker says, and how he'll always be remembered.
The Navy will miss him. The United States will miss him. Great kid. Great kid.
Named after the 33rd President of the United States, the USS Harry S. Truman is the 8th nuclear-powered aircraft carrier in the Nimitz class. Its primary mission, to conduct sustained combat air operations. When out at sea, Navy, the Truman carries around 5,000 people on board. The ship's commanding officer, Nicholas Deanna, says about 40% are in their late teens or early 20s.
They come from all walks of life, all 50 states.
Each serving for different reasons, for travel,
Live in new places.
for tradition,
My mom was in the Navy too.
and for Thomas Updike.
The Navy is a really good opportunity for me because I was coming from a small town, Huddleston, small town, so.
The 22-year-old grew up in Bedford County.
This is the entrance to the shop.
Now he works on board the Truman, down in the maintenance repair shop.
If something breaks, we fix it.
Like this broken pipe.
Oh, it's looking good, yeah.
This is Updike's first time out at sea.
It's really exciting. It's a whole lot to learn. I haven't even touched the surface.
The Stanton River grad finished technical training just a few months ago.
I'm actually going to do that.
He married his best friend,
We got married the 15th of March,
and then 2 weeks later set sail.
so she's kind of getting adjusted to the same thing. Like, me too, I miss her to death.
Meanwhile, thousands of miles back on shore,
We didn't have like a traditional wedding.
his wife, Michaela, now uprooted from home,
We got married in Bedford.
moved out to Virginia Beach to be closer. She's now learning to adjust to the military life.
It's tough, you know, because that's what I sit around and I wait for is my phone to ding, you know, for an email to come through. But if they don't come through, I know I'll hear from them the next day.
You can
And
use
for
this phone to
Updike,
call.
his life on board is new, exciting.
This is the ship store.
And although he has friends, just like family on board, it's those back home he can't stop thinking about.
I miss them? Oh, every single day. I wake up and I miss them. So,
Every single day, a sacrifice at sea. Missing those he loves most.
But I always know he'll come back, so yeah.
Come back from somewhere in the Atlantic, Ashley Ann, WDBJ7. A dire situation. That's how Senators Tim Kaine and Mark Warner described the coronavirus outbreak here at the Immigration Centers of America in Farmville. They're now calling on the president to take action.
It's gotten worse, not better, and that's why leaving it up to ICE to figure it out is no longer satisfactory.
State Senator Tim Kaine, along with Senator Mark Warner, are urging help be sent to the Immigration Detention Center here in Farmville, where data shows about 90% of detainees have tested positive for COVID-19. Kaine says this is due in part to recent transfers to the facility from coronavirus hotspots like Florida and Arizona.
It just is accelerating the spread of coronavirus in this community.
According to online data from Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, out of the 312 detainees, 290 tested positive for coronavirus, with 262 of those confirmed cases under isolation or monitoring as of Thursday afternoon. Centra Health, which operates a hospital in Farmville, said they've been, quote, caring for these patients as needed for a few weeks now. Kaine says there are also 26 confirmed cases among staff members at the facility, posing a risk to public health.
You have that many employees who are getting diagnosed with coronavirus, and they're going home to their families every day, and they're going out in the community and they're shopping and they're doing other things. You pose a sizable risk of spread in the Farmville area.
In a response to WDBJ7, ICE said since the emergence of COVID-19, ICA Farmville Detention Center has ramped up its efforts to protect and care for detainees. On Wednesday, the Democratic senators sent this letter to President Donald Trump asking the White House to work with the CDC and dispatch experts to Farmville. Now, ICE officials tell me that they do not deliberately transfer detainees between detention centers who have tested positive for COVID-19. You can read their full statement at WDBJ7.com. In Farmville, Ashley Ann, WDBJ7.